For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. We previously reported when Mike Epps had to deal with a heckler during a recent stand-up comedy show at the Fox Theater in Detroit. The Art of Dialogue would post a snippet of the exchange between Epps and the heckler, where the comedian continued to make several jokes at her expense. Well, now, nearly a week after the incident, the woman who's known on TikTok as Miss Sally Walker is telling her side of the story on how everything began. Walker would take to TikTok to detail the night's events in a video that's nearly 10 minutes long. Walker explained that she had bought 6 tickets for Epps' comedy show. However, when she arrived to the row where she was supposed to be seated, only 3 seats were available. According to Walker, when she brought this to the attention of the usher, he instructed her to tell those that were sitting in her seats to move. Confused as to why the usher wouldn't check everyone's ticket in the row, Walker admitted to telling the usher, "Get your sassy self out of my face." Let's take a look at this clip.
At this point, I don't want to sit down in somebody else's chair, and then once the show started and people start coming, I'm going to have to keep getting up, moving, and playing musical chairs. Again, he tells me, well, you need to tell them to get out your seat. So he was a little... So I told him, because I can't say what I want to say, but I told him, get your sassy ass out my face. And pissed me off. I said, no, I'm not helping her. She gotta go. Boy, get your sassy ass away from me. Like, before I smack the fuck out of you. Like, seriously. Anybody know me? No. I'm really sweet. Super sweet. But when you take me there, ain't no taking me back down. They walk off. Mike Epps comes on the stage. Nah, I'm talking to my cousin, so I'm not even paying attention that he gets on stage. All I keep hearing somebody say is, "Didn't you come to see me? Didn't you come to see me? Didn't you come to see me?" So when I look up, my face is plastered all over the Fox Theater. Every fucking TV in this motherfucking building got my face on it. Now, mind you, I told y'all I had a run-in with him earlier in the morning. So I already wasn't feeling him. So I'm like, "Hey, my mans, shut up talking to me." Because I'm not in the mood. He like, he talking shit. I'm like, "Bro, quit shut the fuck up talking to me." He like, "You shut up talking to me. I'm sick of your shit." So at this point, I'm like, "Boy, you just had me do something for you earlier and you didn't even tip. Like, get your broke ass away from me at this point." So now he remember who I am and where he seen me from, so he says it. Like, "Oh, yeah, she just did this."
Did you come to see me? You the one that got me a hot chocolate. Yeah, you are. No, you stop talking to me.
You sit in the front. That's what happened.
Sick of your shit. She working at the MGM. She got me a hot chocolate earlier today.
But I'm still like, just shut up talking to me. Like, shut the fuck up talking to me. So boom, I look up, 2 more sheriffs, 2 more security guards. At this point, they like, they want you to leave. But Mike Epps on stage like, "Y'all leave her alone. Like, she ain't bothering nobody. Leave her the fuck alone." So I'm arguing with them now. Because I'm not going no motherfucking work, because who gonna give me my money back?
Now, Danielle, as I mentioned, I covered this earlier. Well, first and foremost, thank you, Danielle, for joining me. I'm so excited to get into it. Welcome back to the show. I gotta make sure I clap you up. You're back. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I was so excited to hop into this one. So I'm going to go ahead and dive right in, Danielle. Now, of course, we reported on this story earlier this week. So I want to kind of get your thoughts. When you first saw this story surface, what was your reaction to the original story?
I was just trying to wrap my mind around the whole scenario, basically. But yeah, I'm gonna like hearing it. That's why I'm dumbfounded. Here's why I'm dumbfounded. It sounds like, and she did say it, some pieces she's missing out. I want to hear the pieces that she's missing out. That's my thing. Because some things aren't adding up, because why they keep coming back to you? Like, why the sheriffs and all these people keep coming back to you and asking you to leave? Was the gentleman in the back making noise saying he wanted you to go? Who gave him that type of authority to, like, basically push the situation that far where they have to keep coming back to you? Especially because he wasn't doing his job. It's not your job as the guest to find your seat. And then when I find my seat, I realize that, hold on, people sitting in my seat, I don't have all the seats that I paid for. And you tell them to move. Like, no. And then you went and you got somebody else and they told you to get him to tell him. Like, it just seems like a big ball of confusion. But here's what I will say though. Even though she was right in regards to this is your job, and all of her how frustrated she was right to be frustrated. But one thing that I've learned in life is it ain't what you say, it's how you say it. And I think how she said it, like the two of their energy just caused a whole big ball of confusion, and that's how the whole situation just blew out of control.
Yeah, and you pretty much already blended those together, so I'll hop in here as well. Yeah, I definitely agree. I don't think she's right in the sense, but I will say, being a human being, I couldn't imagine buying 6 tickets. Obviously, she said this may have happened before at another show, buying 6 tickets and then, like you said, being told that this is, and just being frustrated, right? So just being frustrated in a moment. Obviously, she also mentioned that she has a temper, which we all have those cousins or probably have a friend, or you may be that person that once you go there, you're there. So I'm not saying that she's right, but I will say as a human being, sometimes you do things out of the overstimulation of emotions. Where it's like I'm stimulated, and then she said, when she looks up, her face is on the screen. She already had, felt the type of way because he didn't tip her earlier that day. So I'm not saying she's right, but there is a level of like, I get it. I still think there needs to be some work there, and I think she knows it too because she said she'll even argue with the pastor. So there needs to be some work there, but I'm not gonna push her far from being a human being and knowing that we've all had those moments where we've said something or done something out of emotion that we wish we wouldn't have done. Yeah, and you go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
One like me, Symphony, I honestly would have laughed. Like, I honestly would have left. I would have gone and gotten my money back and just call it that. Like, yeah, let me leave. Because I done say I'm feeling you from earlier that day. So why even here, dog? Let me get my money and let me go home. Let me watch something on Comedy Hype or something like the last news break. Like, that would be me. Yeah.
No, I definitely get it. I surely will. But I actually want to play a clip. This would be my first time seeing it with you. So I want to take another clip that she released, I think, a couple days ago about the situation. Let's take a look.
I literally been sitting back. I comment on some of y'all stuff that y'all write. Some of the stuff. But some of the stuff just been dumb. I don't care how none of y'all feel. If that man would have done his job, I would have never flipped out on him. Like, what y'all not understanding is I asked him twice in a nice way. And he basically told me no. And the third time I asked him, he put his hand on his hip and swicked his neck and told me to just have a seat. So, yes, I flipped out. I don't care about none of y'all talking about, oh, your vulgar language and all that. I'm grown. Who gonna check me? Not a soul. Y'all seen how the security was? I actually walked out on my own. Nobody escorted me out. Nobody touched me. I left because I was irritated and I knew I wasn't going to shake the irritation. Even after all of the managers, all the security guards, all of the people came down there and kept irritating me, and nobody still didn't make those people get out my seat. And that was their job. And the crazy part about it, I'm not doing none of this to get no money back or none of that. I did it because the way they were portraying it in the media, like, oh, she got put out. None of that happened. And it didn't have anything to do with Mike Epps. The crazy part about it is Mike Epps have tried to reach out to me. They want to give me new tickets. They want to give me backstage pass, all that. So all that shit y'all talking about is so non-existent, so irrelevant. Some of y'all need to get some lives. The ones that understand. The ones that got where I was coming from, but then was still a little bit mad about my language again. I could have been a little bit more ladylike, but I wouldn't. And again, if I had to do it all over again, I would do it the same way.
All right, Danielle, so that was my first time seeing that as well. So I want to get your thoughts because obviously in that she's talking about the back and forth between her and the gentleman that worked at the establishment. Of course, there's this saying, the customer is always right. So let's go from that perspective. What are your thoughts? Do you think she's right in that dynamic, or do you think, some responsibility falls on her because of, how she handled it after he, and according to her, declined to help her?
According to her story, because there's 3 sides to every story. We still haven't heard about this other person's, their side. So according to her story, the fact that I had to tell you twice and she said that she did it politely, and you still refusing to do it, she was right. Where the situation went south, of course, is where you get into the name calling. Like I said before, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. At that point, I would have literally, after I asked you 2 times and you still having a problem, I would have asked you to call your manager. So in her case, in this situation, yes, the customer was right in this case. Is the customer always right? I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes some of them, like she said, hey, what's amazing to me about this, what's still like in the front of my mind, is the fact that she started off her story time with the fact that Mike Epps did not tip her. Nobody, unless, and I'll be very quite frank, unless you work in a strip club, that's the only time, in my opinion, you should be expecting a customer to tip you. Other than that, when you give good service, it's because, again, you're doing your job. People tip you not as an obligation, but as a way to say thank you and to show appreciation. But you giving good customer service is a part of your job. Now, with that being said, with her leading off with that, like, I don't know what kind of energy she came there with, like, in there, that was just like, you know what, I done into this fella and you making me mad, so let me just go off. So yeah, sometimes the customer isn't always right, but because she acts politely according to her the first two times, then yeah, in this case, she has that one, honestly, she does. But again, Symphony, my question is, because I still trying to understand this person who in charge of finding her seat, who she was talking to, the usher, what kind of power does usher have? Whereas all through the show, the managers were coming to you, sheriffs were coming to you. Was they making noise in the back? Why nobody checked the usher? Why didn't the manager check the usher? So that's my question for the day. What power does the usher have?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of, because she even said that two comedians were complaining about her, and those comedians hadn't even hit the stage. So I do think there are definitely a lot of missing pieces where it's like, hey, okay, this doesn't make sense. But I'm gonna be honest, Danielle, I kind of like her. I kind of like her, and I don't like her in the sense of like, I think you should go out in public acting that way. But I love when a person is just honest about like, hey, this is something about me that I know is not right. Because you could have somebody that come on here and like, oh no, I know I was right. But she kept saying like, yeah, I could have done this and I could have done that. Now I would love to see her, take responsibility in the sense of like, next time I would have done it differently. Like it kind of hurt me a little bit when she was like, yeah, if this happened again, I would do it the exact same way. It was like, dang, like, you would want to grow from a situation as you move forward. But I love that she's very honest about, or so it seems, right? Because like you said, there's three sides, but she's saying like, hey, yes, I did curse them out. Yes, I did call them out of their name. She's not running away from those things. So I don't know. I like her in that sense. But I want to stick to something you said, because you said customers are not always right. And I kind of want to go with this because I think I've seen a clip where, sometimes, and you've probably been in a situation where somebody comes and kind of demands you to do your job, but off the rip, there's a level of disrespect. So it's like, if you're at Burger King, like, hey, fix my shake or fix my burger, whatever they make at Burger King, those type of things where do you think a business has the right to decline service when somebody kind of comes in with that energy of like, I'm paying you, you're my slave essentially?
Absolutely. And now with me saying this, I sort of, no, I still trying to figure out what power the usher have. But as a business, you have to, your employees are basically your lifeline, so to say. If you're the boss of that company, they're your representation. So you also have to make sure in an instance that they are also protected and they feel protected. So if a customer comes in there with all kind of energy that isn't warranted towards them, and you didn't do the customer nothing, then it is my job now as a manager or a supervisor to make sure that that employee feels protected before things go all the way left. Because again, that employee is also a human being and they may be triggered by something you said as well. I had an instance like that before where somebody literally, I was working to a car company and the person came to bring their car for service late. They knew the hours. And they came in and they like didn't even park their car properly. They just speed in and they took their key and they threw it on the desk at me and was like, I came for service and I'll wait. Danielle at that point, like I say, like, I like friend, I'm the nicest person ever, but don't take me there. So I literally took her keys and I walked it to the manager and I said, I'm not dealing with this customer. You need to deal with the customer yourself or find somebody else to deal with them, because what she did was very disrespectful. And I rest the keys in his hand and I walked away from the situation. So it's all about diffusing and basically being aware of where things can lead to. So like you said, yes, she might be aware that, she did curse this person out and she did do this, but you also have to understand too that there are consequences for your actions as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm all about having a diverse group. So I love, and I'm definitely one of the ones I'm going to walk away. But every once in a while, Danielle, you need somebody in your corner that you know is just going to pop off for you. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just need situations where it's like, hey, I'm not that type of person, but I got my sister, and my brother who is. So it's just, diverse groups. But yeah, no, and I do think it's great to hear that Mike Epps is trying to make the situation right. So obviously, hopefully there's some type of reconciliation between them two, no hard feelings there, in which Mike Epps seems to be, he's used to that banter, knowing how to go toe to toe with somebody and not take it to heart. So hopefully we'll see this kind of unfold in a beautiful way, and hopefully, maybe she does get to go to another show and have a better experience. But we'll kind of close out there. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna add it to my friend group. I feel like we could, just have her in the back, just in case, Danielle, just in case something pops up.
I got too much to lose. I can't. No, man.
I'm kidding. But before you head out, Danielle, I'd like to know and let everybody know, what have you been up to? What do you have going on? And of course, what ways can we continue to support you?
So I have been up to, my mind is always go blank when it comes to this question. Like, so there is, of course, Comedy Hype, right? And then our news, make sure that for you guys that are in the US, that you can tune into our news, Bahamas, on YouTube. That's our local news station here. I am an entertainment reporter, so you can catch me there for those in the Bahamas, because we have plenty of Bahamians who's watch. Make sure you tune into Cable 12, or you can watch on YouTube as well at Our News Bahamas. There's other things that I have going on, but I can't remember. We cannot forget, because they were so good to me. We cannot forget our friends at Atlantis. Make sure that you visit Atlantis's website and see all of the amazing things that they have going on here in the Bahamas, the concerts. We got Janet Jackson Girl coming in April. So I can't wait. And I think, yeah, that's about it. You can follow me on Instagram at DEEA Miller. That's what it is, right? That's what it is. DEEA. Yeah, DEEA Miller. And also on Twitter, that I got a TikTok now. TikTok is that as well. And Facebook is Danielle. And subscribe to my YouTube channel, Danielle, DENIELLE. Ooh, Symphony, that test was hard. Oh my gosh.
It was hard, but you got through it. You got through it. They know what you have going on and how to keep up with you. So that's what matters most. And as for our viewers, you heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts about Mike Epps Heckler revealing why she went off on him? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
Put it in the comments.
Yes, we're back with that. Put it in the comments. Welcome to the Garden Bar at Hype Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, if you've been here, you know that we have a series of events, and when you flow through this room, you can feel the energy surrounded by beautiful green plants. Well, I have some good news for you. We are looking for official sponsors for our Garden Bar. So if you want your brand featured right here in our Garden Bar, you can email us at partnerships@comedyhype.com. And I hope to see you in our Garden Bar.